Shooting downtown is one of my most favorite amazing places to shoot. There's so much going on, there's so much activity, everything's constantly changing. There's all these noises and sounds and just different textures. It's like you'll never run out of ideas to shoot. All right, so today I'm gonna show you guys how to do this really cool time lapse that I kind of came up with. I kind of stumbled across it, if you will. I wanted to do this really cool shot where Kate was standing on a busy corner of an intersection and everything else was just going by her in fast motion to the point where it looks like she's just stuck in time while the rest of the world is just going, you know what I mean? We went and shot it the first day and I had her just stand still and we shot like 200 frames. And the problem was once I sped it up into a time lapse, she was kind of like jumping and moving everywhere. And then so I was like, okay, well, maybe we can try to put optical flow on it. You know, it's Premiere Pro's way of blending frames in some kind of intelligent way. We did that, and then we got this really interesting kind of like wavy Morphe effect, which was really cool, don't get me wrong. But I thought, what if we can make this time lapse a lot better? And I thought I'd share how I did it. So here we go, let's jump into it. You need to come up with the right time-lapse settings. The ultimate settings that I ended up on were the shutter speed at 1/4 of a second, interval at 2 seconds, and then the ISO at 100. And of course I had to put on an ND filter on the camera because while that shutter's open, there's just so much light coming in and you gotta cut it out. So you're gonna need ND filter and then just a really cheap foldable green screen, which you can get on eBay or Amazon for like 20 bucks. I'll put a link to some in the description. So after you shoot your time lapse, now you need to green screen a person into the shot. So all you need to do is literally match up the perspective and the angle, and you're gonna wanna make sure you do this in the same lighting environment. So once you do all that, you got your green screen shot, you got your photos of the time lapse. The first thing I like to do is go into Lightroom. And once you get into Lightroom, you're gonna see all your photos, import all your time-lapse photos, and go ahead and click the first one and do a little edit on it, like get it kind of how you want it. Don't edit it too hard because you're gonna color correct later. But the reason I like to do a quick edit on the photo now first is because it's still a raw photo. And so you got all that detail that you can play with. So after you get a cool edit, you're gonna right click or go up to photo and copy edit settings. And you're gonna go and select the top one and hold shift and scroll all the way down to the last photo and click, and it's gonna select them all and then just do photo and then paste edit settings. It's gonna ask you like, are you sure you wanna apply this to all the photos? Just click yes. So after you do that, put them in a nice folder. We'll make a project folder. We'll just call it street time lapse. You're gonna put all your photos in there. Once you do that, you're gonna select all the photos again, and then you're gonna come up to this little icon and you're gonna click export JPG large. And what that's gonna do is export your whole time lapse. And you're gonna wanna go ahead and open Premiere. This is a weird way I do it, but you're gonna wanna open Premiere. Come on, Premiere. Open Premiere. Open Premiere! Stop taking so long to load! Damn you, Premiere! Okay, Premiere's open. So what you're gonna wanna do when you get in Premiere and you got all your files, all your photos, go ahead and go to import, and you're gonna wanna just make sure, here's a weird thing because I've done this before, make sure you right click and do sort by name. Because a lot of times the first file that pops up it's like in the middle of the time lapse and then your time lapse is really short and it leaves out half of it. Click your first photo and you're gonna go to options and just choose image sequence. Then you're gonna hit import. And what it's gonna do is import that into Premiere as a photo file. Second thing you're gonna wanna do is right click that photo file, scroll down to modify, interpret footage, and then you're gonna do assume frame rate 23.976. And then you're gonna click OK. So now you're gonna have your full time lapse. That's your full background plate, as we call it. And you're gonna drop that into your project. Cool, and you can play it back. Okay, we have this nice, beautiful time lapse. And here's a quick tip. Your interval of how long, your time in between each photo you take is gonna determine how fast your video is. So the more pictures you take, the shorter the interval, the slower the time lapse is gonna be because you're creeping more up towards that 23.976 frames per second, which is normal. The longer your interval is, the quicker the video is gonna be. So just a quick rule of thumb. Second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drag in our actual footage with the green screen. So you're gonna drag that on, and once you get that in there, you're gonna wanna put it on top of the background plate track. And it's gonna cover everything up and you won't be able to see anything, which is totally normal. You're gonna select both of those video files, right click, and then do replace with After Effects composition. Because we need to do the keying in After Effects. You can key in Premiere, but it's just not very good. All right, so After Effects is all loaded up and it's gonna ask you to create a new file name. So we'll just call this Street Time Lapse and hit OK. Now that After Effects is pulled up and we have our files in there, we need to key it out to where, your character is standing in the middle of the street. And then you just go into Effect, Keying, and then you go to Keylight 1.2. And all you're gonna do is select this little dropper here and drop it on that green screen. And what it's gonna do is just key out that footage. The second thing you're gonna wanna do is mask around your character within that green screen so you can get rid of, the rest of that background. So we'll do that now. Okay, now your character is masked and that's your shot pretty much. Now what I did with mine though, I played around with the speed of the character of Kate, basically her keyed footage, because I noticed she was moving too fast. And so what I did to combat that was I go into frame blending, pixel motion, because I noticed there's different frame blending modes you can use. I use pixel motion, and then I went into time stretch, and then you'll just put in like 200, so that'll stretch it basically to 50% of the speed. After I did that, I got all my footage back into Premiere, loaded it all back up, looked good. I exported it as a ProRes file. So you'll just do File, Export, Media, and you'll go in here and select the ProRes settings. So you go in there and you render that out. So let's do that now. So once you get your file exported, I like to create a new Premiere project and name it, Final Comp. And once you do that, you can go ahead and go to your media browser, select your file, and right click and import. You'll drag that in, and there's your final shot. Now what you can do is color correct it. You can go in and keyframe the scale so you can have it zoom out really slowly. The way I like to do that is you just select the video file, keyframe. That's gonna set a keyframe on your scale, and we can scale that up. And then you just go to the end of your file and you hit another keyframe and pop it back at 100. And then all you're gonna do is file export that, slap on some music, and that's it. That's the shot. All right guys, so that about does it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you can do it probably better than me. There's no reason why you shouldn't be out shooting this kind of stuff. So all it takes, remember, green screen, a tripod, and a camera, and you are golden. Golden, they say. And if you liked this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button. We're gonna be doing so much more stuff like this. And if this is the kind of stuff you're into, this is a place for you to be. It's a brand new channel. I hope you guys are ready for all the awesomeness that's coming. Awesomeness. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
It's really, Houston is weird. It was so hot yesterday, and now it's freezing cold overnight.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Oh.
We're really gonna freeze our ass off just to get this time lapse.
Yes, guys. I hope you will like it at least.
Yeah.